What up, world? Welcome to another episode of Breaking Command, a D&D football podcast. As always, you got your man Darian D.H. Williams, D.H. on the mic on X, and you got my partner in crime, my main apple scrapple, Darren Midget, a.k.a. D-Mitty. D-Mitty, what's up, bro?
Feeling good, feeling great. How you doing, King?
Hey, man, good, man. The Commanders got over week 1 of the preseason. So much happened that we've been talking about previously with our last episode with Mr. Felix Trammell. 13:40 a.m. Make sure you check that out on the YouTube page. But so much happened in week 1 of the preseason. I said, we need to guest. We need to get somebody on that can help us talk about it. But before I get to that, I want to make sure that if you're watching this podcast, we appreciate you. We want to make sure that you like, subscribe, and share with a friend. And if you feel so inclined to leave us a 5-star review, you can get your 5 seconds of fame. That's it. That's all. So let me not wait any longer. I want to bring my guy on the show.
Yes,
it is our friend. We frequent his show a lot on the urban sports scene, but it's our friend, Mr. Wole Akinso, aka Wally.
What's going
Wally,
on?
welcome to the show, baby. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm geeked, man. I'm here with the fellas. You know what time it is?
You know what it is, brother.
You already know.
Appreciate your time all the time.
No problem, bro.
You already know it. Everybody, look, man, let me tell you, Wally has helped us out a whole bunch. We've been on a couple episodes of the urban sports scene with him and Ray.
Absolutely.
Last year in the post game and then this all off season. So we appreciate you having us on the channel. So we said we got to pay back the favor and bring you here. Wally, we going to get right into it. We ain't going to waste no time. We've been talking about this preseason or this off season, rather, the past few weeks. We were anticipating this day. The first time we get the chance to see Jayden Daniels, the number 2 overall drafted quarterback. Give me your initial thoughts about the game. What did you think about Jayden? And overall, how do you feel about the team's performance, man, for week 1 of the preseason against the Jets?
All right, I'll start with Jayden. I was so happy. I had like, I won't say low expectations, but I just didn't. It was unknown to me, you know what I mean? And to me, he excelled within my expectations. Like I love that he audible out of that play and hit Diami on that deep pass, that 42-yard pass. I loved it. You know, I don't understand some of the social media hate that folks are trying to put out there on Jayden Daniels, trying to figure out like he wasn't supposed to audible out of it, but that's what you want your quarterback to do. So I loved it. In terms of the team as a whole, I liked a lot. I liked a lot of what the young dudes did out there. I felt like they played fast, offensively and defensively. The only thing I didn't really like about the team on the defensive side of football is just they didn't tackle, and that's something I kind of like harp myself. I'm really hard on when it comes to preseason, because I feel like if a team tackles well, that kind of translates in the regular season. So I just want that defense to be more stout, because I don't want to put that much pressure on Jayden Daniels to feel like he has to do everything for this football team. But I liked a lot, man. I liked the running game with Kingsbury. I was really I feared that Kingsbury would be a guy that would probably just throw the ball all around the field. But from that preseason game, I know it's just a preseason game, but I do think you can get a little bit out of it, is that like he is going to be willing to run the football and take the pressure off of Jayden Daniels. So I was happy with the performance.
Awesome. And Wally, we talked last week on Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you go check that out on YouTube. We talked about it. First of all, about the amount of plays, right? We discussed at length what should be the good number of how many snaps that the first team guys get. We saw one drive out of Jayden. Was that enough for you to kind of get a good feel of him just for week 1 of that preseason game?
It was good because you got scoring. To me, he got a scoring drive. That's what you want. Typically in the first preseason game is have that. If it's a scoring drive, you take them right out, and I think that's pretty cool. I think that was a good thing. I feel like you give him you give him additional test in that second game, right? But I mean, would I have wanted him to be in 3rd and long to see how he maneuvers out of that? Yeah, sure. But I'm sure I'll get that in the second game. So I'm not greedy. But I felt like ideally I got what I wanted. Like the first drive was good, and boom, take him out.
I mean, it was a 14-play drive. Went 6 minutes and 21 seconds for 75 yards and a rushing touchdown, by Jayden Daniels. I think he got a chance to see a lot from that first drive. And then, like you said, it ended with a score. So as a staff, you can only you have to be grateful for that. Go ahead, D-Mitty, what you have?
Well, for me, man, I think y'all hit on the best points as far as the connection with Jayden to De'Ami, him checking out of that play, going to the one-on-one coverage, seeing the man from the defense, and to me, I like the way the running game looks.
Yeah,
Um, it looked like every play looks almost the same as if it can come out, run, or pass with the way that the formations look and the way that they were, post snap. It came out. It was like it looked to me. It looked clean. And of course, I said it on Urban Sports saying that this is going to be a vanilla game. Like we all know that preseason is vanilla. Let's throw out a couple plays here and there just to see how the team look. And Brian Robinson looked good running the route to me. How are they going to use Austin Eckler? I
yeah,
can't wait to really see that open up. But overall, the defense didn't look the way it was supposed to look physically, and I guess you could say aesthetically because they didn't have the
got it.
D line in there. But at the same time, I like the way Jamin Davis played. He gave effort.
I liked it too. I liked it too.
Also with that first drive, I think while it was a little vanilla, I still think we had a little Neapolitan, right? It was just vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. It wasn't a amalgamation of many flavors. They
Yeah.
did mix up a little bit. They went 11 personnel, they went 12 personnel. At one point in time, they had I think an 11 personnel with empty set. You know what I'm saying? So it was, I mean, they had a lot of options. Even that long play to Diami was a play out of empty set.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about he was and let's talk about this, right? Let me just temper the fans. Let me tell y'all something, man. Plays get checked at the line of scrimmage all the time. I would tell a personal story that I have. As you know, I have affiliations with a lot of different people. I know people that played in the league, and I had one specific player that I got a chance to speak to some years ago explain to me one play. It took about 10 minutes, right? And the player I'm speaking of is Torrey Hope. He was talking about being in the Mike Martz offensive system, which
Mm-hmm.
every play call within in Mike Martz's system, each route had three options in it, right? So
Yeah.
at the line of scrimmage, it was up to Kurt Warner to check based upon coverage and based upon what he saw. It was up for Kurt Warner to decide which route he should run, right? So I believe the play was I can't remember formation, but it was like 505. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like 505 was the base, but each of those routes had three combination routes inside of it, and it's up for the quarterback and receiver connection to be able to connect with it. So at the line of scrimmage, the rookie quarterback, these calls are built into the plays. You know what I'm saying? You want a good quarterback to say, "Oh man, I don't want to throw a screen right here in this man coverage because it might get picked off." You know what I'm saying? You have a one-on-one situation on the outside where I'm gonna trust my guy more than your guy, more than you're gonna trust your guy, and I'm gonna throw it up to him and give him an opportunity to make a play on the football.
Mm-hmm.
Really, nobody would have knew anything unless Austin Eckler didn't say it to Brian Colbert during the show. Like nobody would have knew.
Yeah.
And then Dan Quinn having to go and he made a good joke about it with the Maverick joke, but I think people are just taking it like over.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Wally, tell me about that, man. What was your initial opinions when you heard, like, in the moment, right? It was like, okay, yeah,
It was great.
we didn't think none of it.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I thought this is a quarterback play. This is a quarterback play. This right. This is you like we always talk about we want one of them, right? Like Peyton Manning checks out of plays. Like checked out of plays. Tom Brady checked out of plays. Pat Mahomes checks out of plays. Like you want one of them. So I didn't when I initially heard it, I was like, great. We finally got one of them. So I'm cool. That means he does his homework, man. He's a smart kid. So and the play was successful. Like, what are we talking about?
Play.
What are we talking about?
He made the play.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't get that, man. And then of course, I mean, I didn't think it was gonna happen, but people did take that play and kind of like try to put that. And I'm just like, come on, dog. We're not on that anymore. This is the additional nonsense that used to come with this team. That's done, man.
Yeah,
that's done. I didn't like that, and I'm just like, man, give me this every time. If he's gonna be able to make this play, like, give me that every time, dog. D-Mitty, go ahead, Wally. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm with you, but we're a jaded fan base, man. That's just one thing I just don't really dig with our fan base. It's just like we try to find real talk. We try to find negatives. It's not even like it's like, come on, bro. Like he completed a 42-yard pass. Let's look at the end result. That's all we gotta look at. Not, oh man, like he went against the coaching staff. Could he be a problem? Could he be a? I don't care. I care about end results. That's what it is. You think when you talk to Mike Marks, you think that if Kurt Warner completed a game-winning touchdown pass, Mike Marks is gonna be there. Man, you didn't listen to me. Why did you? He gonna be like, "Thank it worked. You were right."
The jaded fan base comment speaks volumes because it seems like the team and overall perform so well that we're looking for things to trying to figure out, well, what's wrong with this?
Exactly.
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like my life is going so well right now. What's gonna happen next? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and D-Man, I'll let you go. But I wanted to say this. I think overall, I saw from the first drive on the offense, the first drive on defense, it just felt like a completely different team that has been trotted out here these past few seasons. The concepts, the motivation, the guys were attacking the ball. They were doing different things. It was a different ball club. And D-Man, I'm curious if you got some of that same feeling after watching that first half of that preseason, or the first couple drives in that preseason game.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And just going back to the point that drove it here. I mean, if you're a real football fan, you understand that Jayden checking out of that play is a football play. And anybody trying to find any kind of negative in that is not an actual football fan. They're just a fan of an actual team. And that's just really being honest from like a transparent perspective. But from that first drive and just looking at how it went as far as the plays that they called and the personnel that they was in, you knew what they were trying to do. It was almost as if Cliff Kingsbury was trying to put Jayden in that position to see. It was almost like a pop quiz if you really look at it from that perspective. So I like what happened on that first drive, and I feel like going forward, like I say, I can't wait to see what Austin Eckler does as far as in this offense. So yeah, they did a great job on that first drive.
I agree. And just like this first segment, man, we appreciate you for checking in. Of course, if you're watching right now, you're a friend and a fan of the show. Make sure you subscribe right now, youtube.com/Breaking Command Pod. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Urban Sports Scene on YouTube, and follow Wale on X, because the guy's bringing it. He has premium guests, top tier talent on the squad, man. I'm
Because
just
like yourselves, right? Because yourselves are top. Y'all the top tier talent. Don't get twisted.
Hey, I love the Shakur interview. I love it, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate
I
it.
enjoyed that.
Appreciate it.
Wally mixes a little bit of everything on the show, man. So you never know what you're gonna get on the Urban Sports Scene, man. You dig? So make sure you check it out.
My God.
So let's get into another topic, man. And we can kind of jump back and forth around the actual game itself. But something that stood out to me, man, was Jahan Dotson and the amount of time he played in this week 1 preseason game. I'm not gonna say is this a bad sign for him, but I'm just curious, Wiley, your initial thoughts on seeing Jahan play pretty late into the first half. And did he play a little bit of the second half as well?
I think he played all the first half. I don't know if he played the second half. I don't think he played the second half. I could be wrong though.
But he went late into the second quarter, man. Give me your thoughts on that, man.
He first I didn't notice it because I was more keen on Diami, because Diami's still out there, and I was like, okay, Diami's still out there. Then someone tweeted me, was like, Jahan's still out there. I think he's in trouble. I'm like, I don't see one. Then I looked again, like, oh snap, he is out there. So like initially I was like, that's kind of weird. That's interesting. But then, it's wild. We had our post-game show, and my co-host Ray had a good point. It was like, this is a new regime, so he's trying to learn all of what Jahan can do and how he's best suited. So he didn't look at it as him being in trouble, just him trying to learn it, like the coaching staff to learn him, and vice versa. So I looked at it like I'm like, let me see game 2 and we'll see how it is. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. My thought process for myself was more like, okay, is Diami pushing Jahan for the number 2 wide receiver? But at the end of the day, I want fans to know this. It really doesn't matter. I know Jahan's getting a lot of negative flack from a lot of fans. It really doesn't matter, because Washington will be in 3 wide receiver set, and Jahan will probably play inside, or Terry will play inside. So it doesn't really matter. They'll all be on the field together. So I feel like people are trying to gas this up to be something bigger than what it needs to be, because he's in trouble. He's gonna be slotted down. Don't worry, he'll probably be if anything, he'll be the premier slot, and and that's fine. Like he'll go against linebackers and nickel corners. He should kill. So I'm like, y'all relax. It's not the big deal. Now, if he got moved down below that, then we'll talk. But I don't think any receiver, in my opinion, there's no receiver better than John outside of Diami Terry. I don't think anybody's better than John or even close to it.
I think the question is, if we really want to have that conversation, is Jamin Davis playing the entire game? That's a different story.
Yeah.
But I'll say this in regards to Jahan. I think, man, right now, and I think this is something that Dan Quinn has been doing all offseason, playing the game within the game.
Yes.
Dan Quinn has made a conscious effort to get his type of guys in there and get leaders in there, guys that can take this. I think as a coach, you got to say, look, man, y'all won 4 games last year. Why shouldn't you be playing right now?
Yeah.
You need to learn and do as much as you can do to contribute. And if you're having a problem playing into the second quarter of a preseason game, then you might not be the guy that I need here. I want guys that want to play, that want to work, and have something to prove, because this whole entire team should have something to prove. Jonathan Allen has something to prove. Deron Payne has something to prove. All those guys left over from this last regime have something to prove, and they need to show their value. So if coach says, hey, go and get in there, you should be prepared to play. And I think Jahan being in there and still being aggressive, still playing well. He didn't have bad body language, in my opinion. Like, I think he's still good. Go ahead, Dimitri.
Wouldn't it make sense for the new regime to put those guys to the test, as far as Emmanuel Forbes, Jahan Dotson, De'Ami Brown, Jamin Davis, Defoe, if he was, healthy, if you proved something a little bit, you were first round picks and late round picks that developed, kind of quick. We got this new thing we got going on here. Let's see how you work with the work ethic that we need from you. Because to be perfectly honest, Jahan had an injury last year, but he, I mean, his rookie year, what have you. Then he came last year. He had a subpar year.
Yeah, off
so,
year.
I mean, we want you to come in and show us. I mean, nobody's place is cemented. DH, you said it many times over. We were 4-13 last year.
Right.
Nobody's job is safe. So they're looking at it from that standpoint. And the way I looked at Jamin today in the interview he had with the media after practice or what have you, the way he responded was like, I'm going to ball out, right? I'm going to, it just gave that effort of like, I'm going to ball out. I'm going to put in the mental part of the game because I know I got it physically, and I'm going to actually put in extra physically, because if I got it here, it's definitely going to come out on the field.
Absolutely. And speaking of motivation and effort, man, we saw an interview put out on NBC Sports page by JP Finley, and it was an interview, a post-game interview with Diami, and I had to retweet it and had to show it. I was just like, man, the guy just looks
confident.
He's confident and he looks happy. He's like, I feel like he might feel like, he might really get a chance to really thrive and really show that he can play this year, man. And I just think overall, that's the overall sentiments of everybody in that locker room. If somebody's frustrated or pissed off, we don't know it. Because every time they've gotten in front of the camera, it's always been good things. They've always said how they feel about the new coaching staff being in here. And I think you just got guys that want to win, bro. Like, that's the thing, man. Football, man, I mean, we say life is fleeting, but football life is so small. And the average career is 3.5 years, and you got guys that had the ability to play past that time frame. And I mean, you want to take something from the game other than just aching knees and a bad back. Like, you want to take some championship wins away from the game, some signature wins, some big time plays, and you want to perform your best. So I think these guys really want to work, and I think Dan Quinn and staff is going to be the guys that really pull it out of them. Like,
the one thing I like that this staff did in the locker room, because y'all know how I am. I'm a behind the scenes guy. I love what's done behind the scenes because it shows when you get out there in the bright lights.
Agreed.
How they switched up the locker room, and they have certain players
play with each other,
sit in different areas. Like, they got Forbes sit beside Terry in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that's about to make him become an all-pro, but you in hopes that it makes him better mentally, because the play he got beat on, hopefully him and Terry can talk about, hey, you didn't turn your head around in enough time to see the ball. You were more so playing a receiver than you know what I'm saying? Him hearing that from Terry may help him a little bit better than hearing from somebody like me, a couch GM. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that. I just like I back on to the Army. It's just that it's something that real talk, if you paid attention to, is like social media stuff. Old boy been motivated this whole off season.
Very motivated.
So it's like it's like like you get the vibe, like you know what time it is. Like this is a new regime. It's time to show up and show out. Like right, like this is your like you said, this is your livelihood, man. This is the business. This is the business. Like what you do this season for him is going can typecast him for whatever
And it's
after
the contract
this.
year.
Yeah, contract year, right? And you want to show folks that you're one of them, or at least whatever you're auditioning for your current team and the next team and and a team that you may possibly be on next year. I mean the year after. So I'm like when I saw how he was moving on social media, like from his clips and what he was saying out there, I was like, this is a different dude than we've seen the prior years. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for him in terms of Jamin Davis, like and all the like players who are getting a lot of reps in preseason. Like there's certain positions out there that are just solid. Like to be like Terry ain't gonna do no extra time. He Terry.
Right.
Like you know what time it is with Terry. He's proven. Like he's a proven commodity. Jahan, as much as I like Jahan, I've said like this publicly. I'm like Jahan had success in this league. Like his rookie year was was good until he got hurt. Like it was really good. Like right. So the year two wasn't the year two was a sophomore slump, which happens. Right, it happens in sports all the time in any sport. So like I just think I feel like this is an audition to show the coaching staff what he's about, and also they're helping him out, seeing how many different places he can play on at wide receiver, and I think that's a good thing. Again, we all must know this is a new staff, this is a new offensive staff. They got to know what Jahan does best. They got to know what Diami does best. They got to know what Luke McCaffrey does. They got to know what Zacchaeus does. You know what I mean? They got to know what these guys do best. So I'm like, yo, of course, go to work. Did we see Jameson Crowder play? No. So does that mean anything? Like, I mean, he's looked good in camp, but he's not getting an opportunity in preseason. So you just got to see what these guys can do.
Yeah, and Zacchaeus, man, he looked real good on return game, man.
Yeah.
So shout out to that guy.
Hey, listen. The same way the team has subscribed to this new attitude and this new era, we want to make sure you're subscribed to youtube.com/breakingcommandpod. Make sure you're here for every new episodes, late breaking news, and also we got a Twitter page now. Yeah. Too. It's gonna be Breaking Command Pod on Twitter too. So make sure you guys check that out. So with that being said, Wally, I'll ask you, man. Forget the second half of the game.
Yeah.
Was there any particular performance from someone maybe further down the depth chart that you were surprised, maybe how much they played or how less they played, or if they had a play or two where kind of stood out to you, anything of that nature?
I like Wiley. I thought he was really good. The running back. I thought he was explosive. He blocked. Like he was in the mix. Like he's a guy that I was like, okay, you could be one of you can find a slot. You know what I mean? Because it's important to have a guy like that who understands pass pro and who can run out the backfield and run out the backfield with violence. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for him to try to make this team. But I do think he stood out to me. In terms on the defensive side of the ball, I'm trying to think of the line. What's the linebacker's name I'm thinking of?
Pittman.
Huh?
Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman. He looked good. He was everywhere. You could see him. You could see him everywhere. Pittman looked good. So he's the one. He stood out to me on the defensive side of the football. But I mean, I wasn't surprised. I mean, it's first preseason game. Like everything is everything to me. I'm not overly critical. I was just, if I had to be critical, I was kind of mad that Forbes got beat by a dude named Brownlee. So that was probably it. That was it. Other than that,
opened up Pandora's box for them.
Yeah, I feel bad for him, man. Because I root for him, man. I root for him. I feel bad for him because I do. Like, I too understand. I don't want to act like I'm not like that outrageous football fan. I understand. Like that was a perfect pass. Like dude got 2 feet down. Like it was a great pass. It really was a really good pass. Like it really was.
Right.
But you can't be getting beat by Brownlee. You know what I'm saying?
But Wally, check this out, right?
Yeah.
What's the running thing in the NBA, right? Scalabrini has this thing he says in the NBA. I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Once you made it to that level, bro, everybody's gonna have to play, bro. Everybody's gonna be able to have a moment, depending on who you are. There is not a player walking on 2 legs that have not gotten beat or have not beaten somebody before.
I use it, and I use the example because I was like, I used to say, I totally agree with you because I used to tell folks like watching. I was once when I was younger. Deion Sanders was our arguably like the best corner
Yes.
ever, right?
If not
Bill
the
Rins
best
like my
football
favorite.
player
Bill
ever.
Rins is my favorite. Like that's like my
Yeah.
favorite corner. But still, that's a homer. That's a fanboy thing. But like I remember Deion getting beat twice by Willie Flipper Anderson, and I was like, good God, like Deion got like for the Rams. I was like, damn, he got on a bomb twice. I was like, shoot, Deion get beat on bombs. Like, but Willie Flipper Anderson isn't he was a solid wide receiver, but he wasn't like he's not a Hall of Famer, right?
Right.
I seen Darrell Green get beat by Alvin Harper. Like I'm just saying, like I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? So
Seen it.
But
so
I think
I'm
it's
like,
compounded together. It's when when it's back to back and you already
yeah,
have the negative
yeah, I know.
gives them
So
a few, man.
Forrest hasn't put together
a series of games, I know.
that or even a game where you can be
True,
like, this
true.
is
But
he's arrived and he's ready to.
Corner too, though, man. Corner's like quarterback, bro.
it's
You can't,
hard, bro. It's so
That's
hard.
the hardest position.
And
Maybe
it's, you know what's wild though? It's like, all right, to that he did though. D Mitty, like think about it, when the season started, we didn't hear like last year. We didn't hear about Forbes bad. He had a pick against the Broncos. Like we didn't hear none of this. And I think as soon as that the Chicago Bears game hit with DJ Moore, but DJ Moore is frying everybody. Let me put that out there. He was frying everybody, not just Forbes.
everybody,
But when
the whole secondary got
DJ
full.
Moore got his hands on him, it was like, oh,
Yeah, that made it
and
worse.
AJ Brown was like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, the
So it's
AJ
like,
Brown was the stamp.
yeah.
The
So it was
Bears
like, it was
game was like,
it was
okay,
AJ before DJ.
no, AJ was after when AJ left.
because they went. Hold up, let me see.
It went Eagles and Bears, right? It was Eagles and Bears, right?
Yeah, and also too, remember the week before. Oh no. The week before the Bears game, they got smoked by Buffalo.
Sorry, it was the
Right.
Bears game. Sorry, it was
So it was
Eagles against after. Eagles was after.
Buffalo, it was Buffalo when they got smoked by 30.
Yeah.
And then the Bears when they got
Then the Eagles.
then
So
the-
AJ was the start. So AJ, I'm sorry, AJ. DJ was the start.
Yeah.
Right.
DJ was the start of it, and then then they had AJ. So it's just like that kind of like it just changed the whole game for him. Actually, he got Diggs. Diggs got him too. I remember Diggs got him too. But that's different though, right? There's different levels to it. Like, but Diggs got him on a couple plays, but the one DJ really got him though. DJ really got him. But it was like, to me, that's when you got the downfall of Forbes. Because at the beginning of the season, nobody was like saying Forbes was horrible, whatever. They said, oh, he had a pick against the Broncos. He's gonna be all right. You know, now then he had a couple bad games, and then it was what it was. So
For me,
he just need confidence.
right. Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to elaborate on. To me, he needs a string of games where he's consistent, where you don't hear his name for any kind of PIs, and he has no, less catches. And to me, that'll build his confidence. Now, for some of these fans, and I'm gonna say fans, they're gonna want to see him shut down Devontae Smith. They're gonna want to see him. You know what I'm saying? Like shut down Zay Flowers and no touchdowns and 2 catches, and that's what they want. That's what solidifies the naive fan, if I should put it in that context.
Do you know what I think? Because of his makeup and what he did in college, what's going to put him over the top and make him feel good is a pick six. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh yeah, pick six.
That's what it is, because he's a guy, or just an interception in the regular season, one or the other. But an impactful play.
Pick six, period. Pick six in the season.
We'll get him.
The game like tied up almost, and it's like second, third quarter, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, he good.
I think that's what I think he really needs, because he's a ball hawk corner, so he needs that pick. That's what he needs. He needs that pick.
That's what I was going to say. Like with cornerbacks, right? Unless you're like Darrell Revis, or Ty Law, where they gonna come your side or something like that. Fans and the league is pretty much cool with you being a gambling cornerback, because they know you either gonna get it or you not, but you don't get it sometimes. And that's the thing, man. With playing quarterback, when you're a gambling corner, you have to win more than the house wins, bro. That's essentially it, bro. If you can get a few more wins in blackjack than the house will, people will forget that you get beat sometimes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if you can take the gamble and dive in there, get a pick, or if you get a PBU, people okay to give up a first down or a deep out or something like that, because it happens. But the thing is, when you gamble and you don't win, and then you get beat on routine things, and then you get beat on guys that are 4th, 5th down the depth chart, it doesn't help you out. I just truly think he would benefit from having a true, like, I think he's, in my opinion, he's a
corner.
off corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if he truly had another cornerback on the other side,
It was locked down.
under down, he would act, because
I heard the scout report about comparing him to Sherman, saying he's more of a cover 3 corner, if I'm not mistaken, how they used to say with Richard Sherman, he had to play kind of 5-10 yards off of the receiver.
That's a good one.
I can see that. But I think Emmanuel Forbes has the speed to run in man to man.
Yeah, he's fast. He's actually fast. That's the thing.
And Richard Sherman wasn't that slow either. I
Not-
think he just ran a slow 4. I think he ran like a 4.5 or something.
Yeah, he's just like Emmanuel has more speed than he has a lot. Actually, he's a lot more speed than Richard Sherman. But it doesn't mean like Richard Sherman had good football speed though. It's not. So it's like, to your point, D-Mitty, he could cover. He can. You'd be surprised who can cover out there. But he also had help over top, which was a little different. So
even with speed, Wally, like, okay, I'm gonna use this as an example.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill has speed.
Yeah.
He can cover. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's all about positioning and leverage. Because
I agree.
And D-Mitty, I tell you, Dre Bly wasn't the fastest corner.
Oh, but he can cover.
But Dre different though.
At 42 career interceptions, like, he made plays, and
Sonny Sanders wasn't that fast either.
Right. It's about position.
That's who I was thinking about earlier.
But that's who he compares. That's who I mean, I feel like if used correctly, that's who I think he should be like. Is it Sonny Sanders? That's what I think Forbes should be like.
And I think we'll see, man. I don't think. I mean, of course, I don't think the coaching staff listens to us. I don't think they're ready to give up on him.
No, I don't think so either. I think fans are just more into whatever. I feel like I'm like, he has good pedigree in terms of what he did in college in the SEC. I know that's not. He can't be tried. He can't be as bad as what folks are saying he is. I just, like D-Mitty said, I just totally believe it's a confidence thing. Once he just needs something good to happen. Once that happens, I feel like the sky's the limit for the kid. I really do. I feel like in my opinion, being a ball hawk corner does not leave you from college. It translates in the NFL. What I mean by that is, you mentioned Dre Bly. Dre Bly was in North Carolina, was one of the best dudes at picking the ball up. I believe led the nation in interceptions, if I'm correct.
He did 2 times.
Okay. Exactly. You look at growing up in Florida, growing up, Terrell Buckley for Florida State was out there interceptions. He's ball hawk. When you're a ball hawk, Rasheed Mathis, who played for Bethune-Cookman, led the nation in interception at HBCU. Went to Jacksonville and was an all-pro corner, intercepting the ball. Like, to me, that resonates. You know what I'm saying? That resonates in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, my boy, I even reference it. Lee Bowden was second playing the Cleveland Browns, undrafted. It resonated in the NFL. Like, that, when you intercept, when you are a ball hawk corner, that translates into the NFL. So to me, when I'm looking at Forbes, him leading the SEC in picks, being that type of dude, it translates. Now it's all about finding that defense that fits you. But all you gotta do is put him in a situation that fits his skill set, because if it's not, put it like this for fans. If it ain't going to be here, it's going to translate somewhere else. I'm gonna be real with y'all.
That's what I was just about. Thank you for saying that, because that's what I was going to elaborate on, and just to leave it right there. Once he catches this confidence, we don't know when, but once he does, a lot of these fans are going to be eating crow.
And fellas, the last time I checked, theft is still a crime in all 50 states. Okay, theft is still a crime in all 50 states. YouTube, you can still subscribe to all across the world. YouTube.com/Breaking Command Pod. Make sure you like, subscribe, and lock in with us with the latest and greatest of Commanders content. And we bring on meet people in the media, people covering the team, everybody, content creators, and we got one of the best ones right here who will be in here all season. Wally, let me ask you before we get ready to get out of here. We got Miami coming up this week. They have some joint practices with the Dolphins, and then the game this weekend. What are you expecting to see in just 2 sentences? What are you expecting to see against the Dolphins coming up this week?
I expect to see Cheetah. I want to see how.
I don't think he's gonna play, man.
Oh, I want to hear how. If he practices in the joint practices, I want to see how they check Cheetah. I'm
he should name the Cromartie with all them kids, bro.
I know, right? He's wild. He's a wild boy. But yeah, that too. And this is what I really want to see, though. And I just want, I want to see Jayden Daniels in multiple situations. Like, I want to see him in 3rd and long. I don't want it just to be like the bomb play because your bomb is not a play that's going to always happen, right? A 42-yard pass is not going to always happen. But I want to see if he can methodically drive this team down the field. That's what I kind of want to see because when you play a good defense in the NFL, like you're going to have to do it that way. They're not going to give a big play. You're going to have to find ways to beat them. You know what I mean? So I want to see how Kingsbury calls a game. If a team takes away the run, so if the team takes away the run, I want to see him in third or long and see if he can complete some passes. And that's it pretty much. Because I just want to see it's like a graduation process. I just want to see Jayden Daniels take it one level, and we'll see from there. I know a lot of reporters are saying that they seen him in camp and he's done it in camp, but I don't care for camp because you're practicing against yourselves. I don't care about that. I want to see how you do it against somebody else.
Absolutely.
Sure.
D-Mitty, what you got for this week, man?
Man, as soon as I opened up my Instagram while we was talking, man, I was looking for something, and the first play I seen was a Ben Sinnott catch over the middle, dragging players. I want to continue to see that tight end room develop, man, because I feel like if that tight end room develop, going in on what my boy Wale said, it's going Jaden's going to progress, and it's going to help him with his development, and especially with that running game. So what I want to see this passing game open up just a little bit more. I want to see see what they do in the passing game. Throw me a couple plays that y'all might be doing during the season, and I want to see the defense. I don't know who's not going to play, who's going to play this coming week, but I do want to see this defense. As far as at least Jason knew, because I don't think Jason played.
No, he didn't play.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I want to see those guys if they get a chance to play, if they are healthy to play.
He's healthy, yeah. I don't know if he's like that healthy, but yeah, he didn't play.
Yeah, and I want to see the continued development of this offense, the continued growth of some of these back end players, like the running back. Was it Wiley?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like those guys, I want to see what they do, man. I want to see Diami get a few more opportunities, see him make a few more plays, and I want to see how this team performs, man. I mean, they were missing 2/5 of the offensive line and still were able to come up with a good first offensive drive. I want to see this playbook expand, and I want to continue to see the growth of the players. I feel like the team is really latching on to Dan Quinn and the staff, and I feel like they're gaining their confidence. For every opportunity on the field, they're gaining confidence. And I want to see them, whatever the score is. Like y'all see, we didn't mention what the score was at the game.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. I just want to see the continued development and know that we have a different ball club than what we had previously. And I'm just super excited that we have football back, man.
Yeah, man. Me too. I'm happy. I'm happy for that. I'm just happy we got football. I'm happy that this team is like, it looks like they're run by a well-oiled coaching staff. I mean, we got grown-ups in the building. I know we keep saying that,
Right.
you know what I mean, harping on it, but it's the truth.
What your mom used to tell you when you go outside, look like you belong to somebody.
Yeah, look like you belong to somebody. Yeah, like we belong, man. We belong in this. We belong in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing I'm happy about, and hopefully, like it pans out the way we wanted to pan out. But yeah, I can't wait for a Saturday because the Miami, different from the Jets, and no knock on anything, the Jets weren't playing most of their players. You know what I mean? On that, so
Right.
we ain't see Sauce, we ain't see any of them players. So at least in Miami, I feel like we're gonna get tested, and I think that's the best.
That was almost like a ramped up practice, almost.
Yeah, because I watched I watched some other preseason games, and some of those dudes were getting some of those rookie quarterbacks were getting tested. Like the blitzes they was putting out on some of these rookies, I was like, yo, y'all not
Speaking
playing.
of rookie quarterbacks, man, that boy Sam Hartman, man, he got some wheels.
I like Hartman. I like Hartman a lot, actually.
I wonder if they're gonna update about his injury.
Yeah, I don't think he's not gonna play. I don't think he's gonna play.
Hell no.
I think this second game will be kind of ramped up. It'd be like how the third preseason game used to be. I could see those guys going to half, going late into the second quarter.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
It'll be good to kind of.
I think Mariota gonna close it out. Or you gonna think Driscoll gonna get more?
No, it's gonna be Driscoll. Driscoll's gonna close it out. He's gonna play a lot. Driscoll's gonna play a lot.
Yeah, I literally think it's gonna be Jayden for the first quarter, and then I think depending upon what they do the second quarter, if Jayden has opportunity to get in like a 2 or 4 minute drive situation, I think they might keep him in and then come out. I think they may come out with maybe Mariota gets literally one drive or like 2 drives, and then it'll be Driscoll the rest of the way. I think they really kind of like Driscoll, and I like some of the things he did, man. I think he played solid for that time in the game. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here, Wiley, we appreciate you stepping in.
Always, brother.
To Breaking Command and Wiley, man, tell everybody what you got going on. Tell everybody where they can find you, all that good stuff, man.
And we got a live show on Wednesday. It's called the Urban Sports Scene. So we're on YouTube Live. So you just subscribe to our Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. We'll also be live on X. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. If you see this, you can just follow me, and I'll lead you right to the Urban Sports Scene. We also got our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page, which we will be streaming there as well. So just search that. Yeah, man, this is a pleasure, man. I appreciate being on this show, man. You guys are dope. You already know how I feel about y'all as content creators, man. I love having y'all on your show, on our show, because y'all know what y'all talking about. That's very rare.
It's always a vibe when we link up, man. I really appreciate you, brother, and I'm gonna give you your flowers because it wouldn't be me if I didn't give the flowers out. You know what I mean? But I really and truly appreciate you stopping through, man. Your time is valuable, and I appreciate that. You know what you're talking about. You're passionate about what you're talking about. You at least care about what you're talking about, man. I really appreciate what you're doing over there in the urban sports scene, man. I wish you much success, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, and I want to tell everybody out there that's watching, man, make sure you subscribe to both channels. But me and Wally have been talking, man. We're going to do something very soon on a live format with the audience, possibly in a facility with some of the people that that cover the team. Maybe some people like, I'm not going to say their names. If I say their names, they got to do it.
I was waiting. Hey, look, hey, don't do that. I was waiting.
Maybe some of these local, but I know one thing I will say before we get out of here, though. One thing, after even having this podcast for the 2 seasons that we've been doing it now, everybody in the community is like really real big proponents of each other, really about uplifting each other's channel and really trying to like give even smaller shows like ours much love. And even so, I'll tell you a quick story, man. I had a guest that I was trying to book, and I couldn't book them because of the red tape that you have to go through to get them. They told me that they watched the show. They're excited about what we're doing. Always share the info. So that's just good to know that people are actually, seeing what you're doing and what you're putting out. So BC, we appreciate you, man. But yeah, man, we gonna keep it going, brother. And I'm glad Wally was here for us, and Wally will be back on another episode of Breaking Command very soon. And we're gonna get ready for this Dolphins preseason game, man. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, man. See Jayden can do what he did in week 1, man. We definitely will. All right, everybody. Appreciate you for staying locked into the Breaking Command podcast. Of course, if you're here, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Leave us a 5-star review. Follow us on X, so that new Twitter page. We need to get that follow count up, so make sure you follow us on there for all the latest and greatest in command news and content. All right, guys, we're going to get ready to get out of here, but this is an episode of Breaking Command, a DND football podcast. Y'all make sure y'all stay safe. Peace and love.